Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Pause Window Cleaning, and today I have a very exciting video that I want to share with you guys, talking to you about how to get more reviews using Nice Job. Now, I've been using Nice Job for a little bit less than a year now, and it has gotten us so many reviews, and it's just been something that I wish I would have started sooner using. But before I get into more about like how Nice Job is and why I like it so much, I kind of want to explain to you first how it was before I used Nice Job. Now, I'm going to tell you both how many reviews like I got before and after Nice Job, but I want to give you a little bit of a background of how I was using, I guess, trying to get reviews from our business, right? So essentially, every time I would do a job, I would always ask the client for their email so I can send them their receipt, right? So every time that I would send them their receipt, what I did was I went to my Google profile and I got my link from there, and also I went to my Yelp profile and got my link from there, and I put it in like, you know, kind of a generic little message, so that every time that I would send my client their receipt, I would have the little message there so that hopefully they leave a review for me, right? So it's just kind of like, hey, it's there, you know, and then hopefully they remember. But if not, then you know, I guess it's not a problem at all, if that makes sense. I mean, I'm just trying to get more reviews, but you know, I don't want to be too pushy about it. So all in all, I was doing that for about a year, and I pretty much got, if I remember correctly, about 31 reviews, which is great. It's combined with everything together with Yelp and my Google account, so that's pretty cool. I don't really get reviews on Facebook because I don't really get work from Facebook, so, but because that's also an option too. But from Yelp and from Google, I got 31 reviews, and that's all I did. You know, just put it in links there on the receipt and just send them in the email, right? So then I saw, you know, a lot of videos of YouTubers using this app, Nice Job. And so I was kind of curious about it. I talked to my wife about it, and I was kind of like, look, a lot of people are using it. You know, it's a little bit pricey. At the time of this recording, it's about 75 bucks a month. And my wife was like, I don't know. And I said, well, let's just try to give it a shot for 1 year and see how it goes, right? So a year passes, right? And so now what I do is that essentially you need two things from the customer. Well, I guess three. You need their name, right? That's kind of simple and obvious. Then two, you need their email, and then you need their phone number. Now, you don't necessarily need to have both, but it's better. But if you at least have one, it works out in that way, right? So now what I do is when I finish a job, I said, okay, can I have your email so I can send you your receipt? And they're like, yes. So I always get their email. And then second, you know, sometimes I don't get their phone number. You know, I just kind of text them through email or through our website or something like that. So I don't sometimes have their phone number, but if I do have their phone number, I'm always good to go on that end, right? But at least I always get their email. So anyway, so what I'll do now is get their email and the receipt for the receipt, and so I'll do the whole thing and kind of give them the receipt and all that. And then from there, what I'll do is then I'll go to Nice Job at that same moment, right? Send on the email of the receipt. Then I open up an application so that from there, what I'll do is I'll put their name, phone number, and their email and send. Now, the cool thing about Nice Job is that makes it different than the way I was doing it is that mine was kind of just a one-time thing. That's it, right? I send the email. I'm not going to keep bugging them. Hey, you know, like, let's just, like, my favorite names of people is John Doe, right? Hey, John Doe, were you able to give a review, like, for us? You know, it's kind of like, I don't know, kind of a little, I don't know. It's just, I don't want to get into that, right? It's just, there's too much. But yet, when it comes to Nice Job, what makes it nice is that when you actually send it to them, it's right away, right? So I fill out their name, email, their phone number, and then boom, send, and then they get a link, right, in their phone number and email saying, hey, would you like to leave a review? Now, of course, maybe at that moment, they might not be able to like leave a review, but what they can do is write a review later, right? So the way the process works is that they'll send it, let's say I send it now, it'll work right now. Then if they don't write a review, a couple of days later, if I'm not mistaken, it's like 3 days later, maybe, I don't really remember, then they'll send another reminder. And then after that, it's like 7 days later. And then after that is 2 weeks later. So after a couple of attempts to actually get a review from the client, then from there, it just ends, right? The campaign, they call it campaign, that campaign period just ends. But let's say they do it on the second or third try, you know, of them trying to get a review and they do it, they don't send it at the end. So it's, you know, it's very smart in that sense. So it's been, you know, very easy to send, and then it's easy for them to write a review, because once you create an account through Nice Job, they ask for your social medias, right? Your Google profile, your Facebook, your Yelp, and then obviously, well, not obviously, but you might not know this, but they actually have their own like review service. So like, let's say for example, they open the link up and they don't want to, put their information for their Google or anything like that. They can just write a review directly on Nice Job, and then from there, it'll actually be on the profile of your Nice Job. So that's pretty cool. So, it's not like they're kind of forcing people to log into their accounts. But now if they do log into their account of their Google or whatever, it is awesome because then you get more reviews, right? And why am I making this whole video about reviews? Oh, actually, now I think about it, one last thing I actually like about Nice Job is that they actually give you like some text and code and all that for your website. So you can use that code and plug it into your website, and then from there, every time, like let's say you get now and in the past, all the reviews that you have, it will show up at the bottom. So like let's say someone goes to your website and then they type in your information, they go in, they're checking you out, and then the bottom, boop, 5-star review, boop, 5-star review. So that's really cool in a sense, makes it look more professional for you, and it will get you a lot more business in that way. So moving on, like I was saying before, like the whole thing about reviews is like life and death pretty much, because like obviously if you have word of mouth or someone knows you, it's very easy to get the job, right? But now, like let's say people are looking for a window cleaner, like they need to have that connection and trust with you. If you see someone with like a couple of reviews, obviously maybe they're starting out, that's one thing. But like if you have a lot of reviews, right, then they'll see like, oh, this person's legit, and then they start reading all the reviews, and then from there they'll say, okay, I want to go with you, right? And so that ends up happening to us a lot, that when we give them like a bid or whatever, they're like, oh, that's perfect, let's do it. Andy, one thing I really like is that I saw all your reviews, you guys are really trustworthy and everything, that's why we wanted to go with you guys. And so in my case, that's like a bonus, right? So and yeah, I mean, it's obviously too, there's obviously going to be other competitors that also have a lot of reviews too, but the thing is that having like a review is kind of like having like a profile of yourself, right? So if you have not a lot of information about yourself, then not a lot of people might want to go with you. But the more reviews, the more information that is on your profile, then people will be more inclined to go with you and use your service. So anyways, to wrap this whole video up, I do have a link that is with an affiliate with Nice Job, and so if you use that link, it will help us out, my wife and I, and the channel out very much. It is awesome. I cannot say enough how much I love this application, and that's why, like, when I give you these videos and all that, it's coming from the heart. It's not just something that I just want to like just try to go out and try to get as many videos as I can about different subjects or different topics or applications and all this other stuff. What I try to do is, like, I'll have a video later talking about how I got into window cleaning and all that and how I started, but essentially I didn't really have a lot of help. I just started off, I tried my best to do like these YouTube videos, like try to like see what works and what didn't. So I try my best to like get into, like, I do my research too, go on YouTube and try to see different people and how they view certain things, and then I try to test it out myself, and then I give you like an honest review about it, so that when you use it, you can like trust what I'm saying, if that makes sense. So I don't want to go out there and be like, oh yeah, all this stuff is great, and then next thing you know, it's not. So I test everything myself. I want to make sure that it works for you. And I completely forgot, so this is kind of, I guess, the bonus part. Going back to what I said about reviews for before and after Nice Job. Before was 31, and I checked with Nice Job, less than a year, less. I think it was like, let's say 10 months, 96. More than triple. Think about that. More than triple reviews just from using Nice Job in 10 months. That's awesome. So again, it works for me. I'm sure it's going to work for you. If you use my affiliate link, it'll help us out a lot. And it's something that I cannot how do I say? Because it's a subscription base, or as of right now, it's $75 a month. I cannot not have it anymore. You know, I'm so ingrained in it that I can't see myself not having it. So that's how much I trust it. That's how much I really like the application, and I really hope that this can help you to progress your business, to make it as successful as possible, and most importantly, get you more reviews. So anyways, this is Andy from Paz Window Cleaning, and if you've made it this far, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. Bye.